Welcome, everybody. My name is Pastor Debbie Rarick at Beverly Hills Baptist Church, and today I'm speaking with Donnell Smith, one of the on-site directors at Master's Workshop Camp near Waco, Texas. She and her husband, Kevin, have been serving there for quite a few years, and they've just made tremendous impact on that camp. And not only on the camp itself, the campgrounds, but also in the lives of the campers. And so what I want to do real quick is just welcome you, Donnell. Thank you for being here with us.
Good morning.
And I just want to briefly share a testimony in my own life about the impact of summer church camp. When I was growing up, as a family, we didn't go to church very often. We went a few times, and it really kind of left me more confused than informed about God. I remember one time sitting in the row. There was 4 kids, or possibly even more, because we often had foster kids. My parents, I was sitting by my dad, and it was during the offering time at church, and the offering was being passed. And he said, "You see this money?" And I said, "Yeah." And he pointed up to the choir, and he said, "After church, they take this money and they go eat pizza." And so that was some of my spiritual formation. I really didn't know that that wasn't true, that that was a joke. I was just like, wow, maybe I should join that group of people and be able to go eat pizza after church. But what God did in my life was that he put me in contact with people who somehow made me aware of these meetings that were in the chapel, and they were for teens. I was in junior high. I was 11 years old. We called it middle school over in Spain. And I was invited to a Protestant Youth of the Chapel meeting. And these meetings really became my church every week. But during the summer, they had this thing called camp. Again, I had never heard of church camp or any type of camp. I've heard of, going camping. So I was invited to church camp, and I was just overwhelmed and blown away. I never experienced anything like that. And I remember on the final night of camp, we were all leaving the next day, that they were praying, and they were teaching about, I'm sure it was about salvation. I can't remember a thing they said, but I know that the Spirit of God began to move on me in such a powerful way that I just began to weep and weep and weep. And I wasn't sad. I was what I know now is that it was God's love just overwhelming me. And so they kind of, saw that that was happening to me, and they paired me up with a camp counselor who was probably somebody who was in high school or college. And we went and we sat on this huge rock that was behind the canteen building, and she was talking to me, and I'm sure she was saying, Jesus died for your sins, and all this stuff, that we're all sinners and we need to be forgiven by God, and we can receive Jesus by faith. I'm sure she was telling me the whole gospel, but I didn't know anything except what I was experiencing. And I told her, I said, I don't know what you're saying. I don't know about any of that, but whatever this is, I'm saying yes. I'm saying yes to whatever this is, because I just personally experienced God. And I didn't know any of the details. I didn't know anything else other than that was the most incredible love and peace and hope that I had ever experienced in my life up till then. And so I know that because of that, my faith journey started. And I kept, going through the discipleship meetings each week. And the next summer I went back to camp again. And as it would, as the Lord would work things out, I was going from one school to another. So I was able to attend 2 camps that year back to back. And church camp has just been an incredible part of not just a place where I was hearing the gospel time after time after time within a short time, within the days of camp, but I was also surrounded by loving people who were living out the gospel. And I was also able to have that experience again the next summer. And it was so powerful, um, that I just, if I could send every kid to camp, church camp, I would send them to a good church camp. And so that's why I'm so excited about uh, the Master's Workshop Camp, because I know that it's one of those incredible camps, and that Donnell is just spirit led leader. She seeks the Lord, she follows the Lord. And I know that her and Kevin, although she does more of the inside over the oversight over the camp, that they both love the camp and the kids, and doing the work that God has called them to do there. And so let's just take a moment and watch this video. And this is a video, you may have seen it before, from last year's camp season, just to kind of give you an idea of what the camp looks a little bit like, and what some of the activities, and just see how the kids are being treated, and how they're being ministered to and taught the things of God.